Did the U.S. government shut down today? At 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on October 1st, 2025, the United States federal government officially shut down. After days of warnings and political deadlock, Congress failed to approve the funding needed to keep agencies running. This marks the first government shutdown since the 2018 to 2019 standoff, and millions of Americans are now asking one question: what does this shutdown mean for me? The shutdown happened because lawmakers in Congress could not agree on appropriations bills, or even a short-term funding measure known as a continuing resolution. Without that agreement, funding authority for federal agencies expired, forcing many government operations to halt. At the core of the dispute are disagreements over budget priorities, including debates over healthcare subsidies, federal spending levels, and political leverage between the two parties. The failure to compromise left the government with no legal authority to spend money, triggering the shutdown. An estimated 900,000 federal employees face furloughs, meaning they are temporarily laid off without pay. This includes workers at agencies like Health and Human Services, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Internal Revenue Service. For example, about 41% of staff at the Department of Health and Human Services are furloughed. At the Federal Aviation Administration, around 11,000 employees have been told not to report to work. While air traffic controllers and Transportation Security Administration officers remain on duty, they are working without pay. Federal contractors are also affected, many of whom may not receive back pay even when the shutdown ends. Everyday citizens will feel the impact as services like passport processing, national park operations, and visitor tours at the White House and Capitol come to a stop. Not every part of government goes dark. Essential services continue. The military, law enforcement, and border security remain active. Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid benefits will still be paid out. Air travel continues, though delays and safety concerns could grow as thousands of FAA workers are sidelined. Postal services remain operational, since the U.S. Postal Service runs on its own funding. In short, core life and safety services stay online, but many support functions, inspections, and public-facing operations are paused. Government shutdowns come with a heavy price tag. Economists estimate the current shutdown could cost the travel industry around $1 billion per week. Aviation safety oversight, inspections, and maintenance schedules are disrupted, raising risks and potential delays. Past shutdowns have shown that the longer it lasts, the more damage it does, slowing economic growth, hurting consumer confidence, and leaving workers financially strained. Even though furloughed federal employees are historically guaranteed back pay, the delay in paychecks means immediate stress for households. Blame for the shutdown is divided. Democrats argue that Republicans have refused to compromise on critical budget issues, while Republicans claim Democrats are unwilling to negotiate spending cuts. Already, federal agency websites have begun displaying partisan language, with some blaming political opponents for the funding lapse. The shutdown has become not just a budgetary issue, but a political weapon, and both parties are gambling on public opinion. How long the shutdown will last depends on Congress. Lawmakers must eventually agree on a funding plan, whether it's a temporary measure or a full budget. Until that happens, furloughed workers remain at home, essential staff continue working without pay, and ordinary citizens face delays and disruptions. Past shutdowns have lasted from just a few days to over a month, but the longer it continues, the greater the economic and political consequences. The United States government shutdown of October 2025 is a direct result of political gridlock. Hundreds of thousands of workers are furloughed, services are delayed, and the economy is under strain. Essential services continue, but the cost grows with every passing day. The nation now waits for Congress to act and for leadership to end the shutdown. Until then, the reality is clear. The federal government has, indeed, shut down. If you want to stay updated on this, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications.